Hello and welcome. This is Where People Move. Thank you for joining us. On today's show, we're talking to Bob Shallow from Remax Paradise and Laura Hancock from Vacasa. They're going to tell us all about the Gulf Coast and why people love it there. Hi, Bob. Hi, Laura.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
And Laura, we talked to you last time, so we're going to jump over to Bob if that's okay. Bob, how long have you lived in that area in the Gulf Coast?
Since the spring of '82.
Oh, you're a veteran there.
Yep. 37, 38 years, right?
All righty. How long did you start in real estate there?
Same time. Came here to do real estate. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Were you doing real estate before that?
In Florida. Tampa, Clearwater area, but only for a few months. Short stint there. Yeah.
What made you either want to leave or want to go to the Gulf Coast to start doing real estate?
Well, of course, that question is usually easily answered if you've been here. But have you ever been here, Jack? No?
Nah, I have. The first place I've been is Palm.
You got angels that frequently fly around. You got great agriculture. You got the most beautiful beaches in the world. You got solid, folks that are hardworking, hunting. I mean, you can kill deer 3 months a year. Have a great population.
Deer.
I mean, for the rednecks, but which we love. But no, it's pretty much God's country.
Right on.
And the angels, of course, I'm referring to the Blue Angels, which practice pretty much all the time right here on the beach.
Okay, and I wasn't sure about that. I was an Air Force guy, and so
I was Marine Corps, but we won't know.
So you were like a real military guy.
Marine Corps, right.
Yeah. Hoorah, hoorah. So now when did you discover, like, whoa, I didn't know this area was here, I got to get out of here? Was that like 81?
No, it was I went to Tampa. I really could not stand Tampa. I was dumped in there in the middle of the winter and the chaos and everything, and just didn't care for it too much. So moving up here in May of '82 was, just fabulous. I mean, everything was great. And still is. I mean, it's just a gorgeous place to live.
Well, Laura was telling me last time, and I talked to someone else over there, and it does sound like the white sands and all that. You've been to San Diego since you were in the Marine. Our beaches aren't like that.
Right. I was at El Toro, 3rd Marine Air Wing in Santa Ana, just south of Santa Ana, right between where you're talking about here.
Okay.
So we spent a couple of years there. And plus we have 8,000 acres of state park here, which are very well maintained. 30-something miles of trails that you can hike and bike right from here, So a lot of other assets to the area. Great school system, which I know was one of the questions that was in here. So reasonable prices, which I know you're going to probably get to eventually here. Yeah,
eventually. So now you mentioned a bunch of cool stuff about your area. What are the things that drive people there the most? What's the
beach, the clean beaches, and we got great restaurants. And just a good laid back atmosphere, you don't hear any horns honking and everybody pretty calm. So
it's still family oriented.
Very much so. Yeah.
Every other beach that looks like Mardi Gras.
Ours has really always been based ever since I've been here, based on like the 36, 38-year-old couple with 3 kids coming in spending a week. Our prime time is, of course, May through second week of August, and school starts and it's over. But we have a good fall golfing. We have 7 or 8 world-class golf courses here. So in the fall, you've got a lot of fall business with that. In the winter, of course, we're inundated with snowbirds, which we love to see come and go, and which is great. They're just all arriving now, so you slow from 55 down to 32, but it's still good.
Did you say you love to see them come and go?
Yeah, right. I have to take my pistol out of my car in the winter. But that's all right. No, I'm kidding. Well, actually, no, it's okay. I have a pistol for me. Just in case.
Right on. So let's get into some real estate. What's your median home price down there?
Well, we mostly sell investment second home condominiums. We have 15,000 of them on the beach. So that's our primary meat and butter there, is that 3.2, 3.3 condo that's on the beach. And those are selling for $500,000 up to, we've got units at Turquoise for a couple, 3 million, with a good variety. You can get in a good market, be on the beach for 265 in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in a 35-year-old project. Or you can be in a new one in a 2-bedroom for 5.25, which is built by international standards, which came into effect in '07. Well, it actually came into effect in '04, but they were really implemented in '07, which is a higher standard than anything else that was done here before, which was 7 building codes before. So building's a whole different program now. There's some new projects going on. Got some great ones. I mean, Phoenix, which has always been a mainstay around here, do a fabulous job on a concrete Gulfront structure. We have one Sea Glass up on West Beach, which is a 51-unit, 3-story, lower profile type project with the biggest pool so far on Gulf Shore being built with splash, but it's designed really just for spring and summer rentals type deal. But there's a lot. I mean, you've got everything from A to Z. We can put you in a nice house on Ono for $4 or $5 million if you want. I sold one last year on Ono for $2.5 million, and the woman, I believe, currently, she's moving in this week, bless her heart, has put in about $1 million in it since she's moved in a $500,000 project. But it's a magnificent house sitting on double lots on the peninsula there. So I mean, it's high style. So we've got that lifestyle and that going on too. So
now, when you're up in the millions, you're talking about places that are on the water.
As a rule, yes, we have a few that aren't, but basically they are. They're either going to be on the Gulf, and your higher rise new projects or beach houses. I got a beach house closing tomorrow for $1,875. I just closed a condo this morning at 11 o'clock this morning we do for $1,175,000, which was at a project we did in Bella Luna. It was on the riverside, not even on the Gulf. That was the original developer's unit training, which we closed that today. The last unit that had never been sold in the whole project. We did that project in '03, 136 units. Designed for rentals again too.
You mentioned the riverside. Is there a major river going through there also? Or?
It's referred to as Old River, which is just an inlet from Alabama Pass, and you get down through, and it's it's an inlet. You really wouldn't call it a river because it's an ebb and tide flow, So really not a flowing river, but they call it Old River just as the name.
But it's a body of water.
Correct. Yes.
And do people
body of water?
Are people beachfront up on that also?
Some are, but very few are both sides. Normally those are the boating areas, where you have your marinas, like Vista Bella, Legacy Keys, 2 properties we did there that are designed really for boating, marina type deals. You keep your boat sitting right in front of you there and watch that all day if you want.
All right, so now talk to me about some properties like for your starter investor.
Got all you want.
What's that?
Got all you want. I mean, they're building houses like a Vancy around here. It's
right.
the second fastest growing county, I think, in the state. And they're building thousands of houses right now, starter houses. You can buy a brand new Horton or Trillion home for high 2s, low 3s, really nice, gold fortified, everything, which is, I think quite reasonable still. We're talking brand new houses, 2-car garages, that type of stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Brick.
And you're saying you get that for around 3?
Yes, all day long. Yeah.
Okay, now from someone in that situation, how far away from the water are they?
About 4 miles. But roughly, you've got some still that are here, that are on the island, that you can pick up for a little more than that. I mean, you got to pay a little more of a premium because land costs a little more. But you can be on the island in Gulf Shores and be 2 miles away from the beach, 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, and still get into a $250,000 to $300,000, $2,600, $2,800. I just sold one last week at close. 2,800 square foot, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage. Sold it for $250. Brick, hell of a deal.
Wow.
Rented it the next week for $2,800 a month for 1 year. All right, which covers all expenses, positive cash for there for sure.
You were saying that that house for the under 300 would get how much a night?
No.
It's a monthly, this is a
Monthly.
year-long
I
monthly.
got
amount.
$2,800 a month to rent it long term. People buy it. It's not a daily, weekly rental type situation. It's a long term, month-to-month deal. This one was.
The majority of things down here are short-term rentals, but there's also certain
Right.
areas that are certain buildings that only allow long-term. And so what he's talking about is as you know, Vacasa came out with the top 25, and Gulf Shores and Orange Beach were both listed on as places to invest and having the better cap rates. But what he's pointing out is that whether you're a short-term rental investor or a long-term rental investor, he's probably got something for you.
Yeah, no, that's so now what are you seeing, Bob, as your typical cap rates down there for a long term?
Most of our life is based and predicated on you're coming here and owning a piece of property. We give you a tremendous tax break on a second home, or if you choose to rent it, very reasonable. But as a rule, you're not going to buy it and come out necessarily on a positive cash flow, say if you're a 80% LTV loan to value. So, and you're paying 4% or 4.25%, which would be more of an investor rate versus the primary user. You're still going to have to contribute a little bit as a rule, but not much. But you get the pride of ownership, a little depreciation in the place. Hopefully, some appreciation. The property would go up. We won't guarantees any of that, anything. But but it's mostly you're in Houston, Dallas, wherever you come here and you've got a place. You've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a family building, the memories. We're selling the dream, selling the rest of it. But you got the concrete mortar to go along with it. It isn't like a stock portfolio or something else. And there's some of them that actually make money. So, I mean, if you had $500,000 in cash and you gave it to me, could I bring you in 50 grand a year gross? Sure. And once you net onto it, probably 30. So what is that? 6. So, you're good to go. And you're building a good, solid thing in an area that's growing to be heck. And, it's good controlled growth too. I mean, things are not going wild or not, you're not seeing cranes everywhere.
Well, you got an island, right? You can't build too much.
So much, yeah. But it's but like I said, most of your questions could be answered really if you just came in and spent a weekend. Call Vacasa, come in and rent something for the weekend, and then you can put all this behind you and say, we got the Navy, we got nucleus up to protect us, we got all the farmers. Every redneck in the county's got 15 firearms that are well protected. We got good food, fishing fleet. We have one of the largest shrimp fleets in the country on the Gulf, one of the largest OEM bond secure. So we're self-sufficient, great schools, fabulous police and fire protection. I mean, they've got it nailed, I'm telling you.
Bob, let me ask you, how often are people buying their retirement home early, renting it out for a little while, and then like 10 years later, whenever they retire, kick the tenants out and come down and move?
As often as I possibly can get them to do it. But the reality of that is it's hard to get that mixed use program in there. So you're better off to come in, buy the condo at Pelham Point, wherever you want. The 3-2 that's going to bring in 50 grand a year, you pay 464 or 45 a year, the same. And then when you decide to retire, you've spent years down here, you know where your favorite restaurants are, you know the traffic, the tourists eat 2 meals, right? Brunch and dinner. As long as you eat a little earlier before brunch, you get up and eat at 8 in the morning, you're safe. Go to dinner at 5, you get any restaurant you want. Go at 6:30, way down. Okay. And then the traffic, you don't travel on Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings. You don't try to come in town on 59 the Beach Express at 5:30 on a Friday night. Just things like that. Once you learn how to maneuver around, life is sweet. With all the traffic and so forth in the summer, which is sometimes something people complain about. As long as you get to move around, it's really not a problem. I don't know why I got onto that tangent, but go ahead. What was the question?
I was asking about people buying their retirement home, renting it out for a little while.
Yeah, but you said everybody needs to own something, okay? You need to own one regardless. But I have people right now, I've got a couple of couples in Texas, and they're now on their second and third units. They're buying them, putting them into, rental programs. And we don't manage, we just strictly list and sell. So I refer everything over to like Vacasa. They handle the programs, do the management of that. We've got a number of management companies. I think we're the only real estate company, but.
Right
I'm sarcastic about that, but go ahead.
He's, he's
on.
There are one or two others.
And they definitely want to come to this area. I mean, just last week we were in 70-degree weather at the end of November.
Right.
We were all out on boats and shorts.
You know what? You'll never hear this. Well, you can't hear this too often. In San Diego, we're jealous of you. We've been rainy and cold all week, so.
Yeah, those damn forest fires, but I mean, but anyway, let's get over all that stuff. No,
That's
it's a
our
great
national
idea.
disaster.
Yeah, if you could take about 2/3 of the people out, and whatever, we got other problems. So,
Yeah.
no, it is a beautiful area. Yeah, we like to go there once every 2 or 3 years for a convention, and then wine and dine and ride around and see how you guys live, and then come back home.
I'm telling you, man, I would get instead of coming to San Diego, I'd just get a boat and anchor it right in your harbor or
Right.
Gulf, whatever.
You may need to come home and visit for a while. You may want a little change. Like a guy told me yesterday, preparing for paradise, you might as well start now. I said, yeah, good idea. He's moving here, so.
Yeah, why wait till you croak?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So now, Bob, you help people get into places, and if it's not a long-term, you work with Laura to help with the management through Vacasa?
Yes.
Right on. How did you guys discover each other?
Bob is the #1 RE/MAX agent, and I do a lot of business with him and people in his office. So.
The wife and I, we started RE/MAX at Gulf Shores in Orange Beach and Craft Farms. We did that for like 20-something years, and then I sold those operations out, started RE/MAX Paradise. And we have 45 agents, a little different standard and situation going on. The other offices are still doing fine. They, survived well through everything. And that was in 04. Everybody thought I was going to retire. Hell no. After 04.
What are you going to do?
After 04, when everybody announced I was going to retire, 05, 06, and 07, I was the #1 RE/MAX agent in the United States, making $3.5 to $5 million a year. So there wasn't any retirement. I just had to get rid of those 100 agents so I could have a little extra time to market and sell a few things. And it's really not difficult selling stuff here once you figure a few things out. Pretty easy to sell. So, all right, was that the right answer?
Yeah, no, that was a perfect answer. Yeah, I was just curious to how you guys, how great minds bump into each other and attract, however.
It's financial.
It's financial, and it's a small town. It's a big small town.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now, so what are some of the up and coming areas? Some you mentioned some new developments. Are there some areas that are like, hey, man, you should get in on this?
Yeah, West Beach, there's still some great deals on that. Some of the pre-construction deals. The Gulf is definitely where it's at, but I mean, there's areas in Bon Secure. Like Trillia Homes doing a bunch over there, but this waterfront over there that's been neglected, let's say, and like going down Fort William Road on the Lagoon on the north side looking south. I mean, there's some fabulous deals. You can buy a two-acre piece down there for about $300 grand right now. Have 100+ feet on the water, sandy beach, looking south. Okay, and own from the road to the water, like 600-700 feet long.
Wow.
And build a nice house, and I mean, life is fabulous. I think those are some great deals, but there are in Bon Secure, but even on West Beach. As I said, I'm closing a house tomorrow down there for $1,875,000. It's on a 100-foot lot. It's an 8-bedroom, 7.5-bath house. It'll bring in, properly managed, should probably let her say that. How much will it bring in?
Houses like that will bring in over 200.
Yeah, I was going to say 150, but anyway, the people that bought it were told 150, but 200 probably more realistic with their program.
All right, well, now they're happier.
The guy that was owning it, that owned it, or owns it until tomorrow, was renting it just certain times of the year for $10,000 a week himself. So he'd rent it for 10 to 12 weeks a year. So he'd make it $100,000, $120,000 a year, and that was all he was doing. And these were repeat customers, or customers that would tell other people about it. And he had a lot more demand than he ever had wanting to use it.
So the 150 to 200 range, depending on how often they use it, and with a program like ours, putting it on 26 different channels and the marketing strength and the technology behind Vacasa, something like that would really do well.
Well, I'd have no question they could do 200,000 with it,
And but you preface that by saying As long as they don't use the place for themselves too much.
Well,
in the peak season.
right.
Sure.
You got to maintain and use stuff. You buy them for your enjoyment, primarily. So I tell everybody to hell with Vacasa. Use it all you want, but of course they want to use it. It spots to enhance your quality of life. Then we work it from there. So, but no, they normally don't use it that much in the prime season anyway, because most of them are too tight to let that $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a week go.
You just stay there Tuesday and Wednesday night and get the heck out. You mentioned people buying lots and building there. How is the local government with permits, and how builder friendly are they?
As long as you are not increasing the density of the property, you're golden. So in other words, if it's by right with the zoning and your setbacks and everything, then you're golden. It's no problem at all there. Both municipalities, being Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, are very well run, very structured, very mature. Wasn't the case 36, 38 years ago. I'll tell you, it was a good old boy system. But today it's very easy to do. As long as you're not trying to buy a single family resident and put a rental in there, or do something where you're going to put like 4 or 5 or multiply anything, because everybody's against growth that isn't already approved. Right?
People put a Jack in a Box in or something.
It isn't going to happen. But anyway, no, the answer to the question is very easy to do. As long as you do it by right and don't buy something that you think you're going to go in and ask for a bunch of variances. So.
Okay. So now what do most people do for a job there in the Gulf?
Tourists. Mostly everything is related to that 36, 38-year-old couple coming with the 3 kids, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to have brunch. They're going to have dinner. They're going to go to the beach. They're going to go to the tourist shops. Hopefully, after they've been here 2 or 3 days, they're going to come see me and buy a condo.
Absolutely.
Then you've got the cleaning crews. But so you've got a service industry that's basically run totally around
Tourism.
tourism.
Yeah, we got cleaners and
maintenance
and all the different
And
independent contractors.
Right.
Yeah, everything
So.
that we do from customer service related. And then you've got all the different activities like he was getting at on fishing, and you've got fishing boat captains, and you've got tours and dolphin cruises and mini golf. And
we're a tourist-based community.
Okay.
For people I just told you, without fringe seasons. Yeah. Which works extremely well. The model is working very well. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say about your area?
Well, when you live here, though, you get the advantage of all of the fact that all these people come here and stay, they pay taxes and do stuff, and we generate that income from them. And then, like, we have tennis courts and parks and beaches and everything. I mean, that we get to use as living here. So living here is definitely something that I would highly recommend.
The city infrastructure, really, they put money back into the community to make it worthwhile for people that live here as well.
Right.
And the Southern hospitality, right?
It's a good, solid investment. I don't see, even though the world may, screw up, the little bubble may burst once in a while, everything here is fairly stable. We keep it fairly good because most people can afford to come to vacation here. We work within a 500-mile basis of our tourism as a rule. Bubble you go around that comes into us, which we're the closest, best thing going in the state. Okay. So it works out well.
We're the first white sandy beach you come as you're coming east. This is, the Alabama Gulf Coast is really.
And Texas has really discovered us in the last few years, which is a great thing. We get a lot of Texas. Yeah.
They got a couple people.
And a few Californians that are getting singed and tired of this. So we get.
Well, California.
Screen them, of course, but that's okay.
You got to spray for Californians. We keep coming.
Right, yeah.
Well, you guys, thank you ever so much for doing the show. Bob, for the millions of people that are going to see this and want to buy a house from you, how do they get a hold of you?
BobShallow.com. Bob Shallow, Remax Paradise. Bob Shallow, 251-948-8888. I got an assistant.
With the phone number, please?
251-948-8888. I've got an assistant that's been with me for 24 years, Sunny Lane South. she pretty well runs everything. So I'm, pretty much a kept guy, but that's between the wife and Sonny.
She set this all up. So
She didn't, I just show up.
right on, Sonny.
Heck, come visit. We'll buy you lunch. I'll buy you a Wagyu burger at the Hangout or something.
Right on. Laura, after they buy the place from Bob, and they're going to need a good property manager, how do they get a hold of you?
They can email me at laura.hancock@vacasa.com or call me at 251-459-3644.
Uno más with the phone number, please.
251-459-3644.
All right. Well, and that's the show, you guys. Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank you for all the great info, and I can't wait to sleep on one of your couches when I come out to visit.
We got it. Come on.
We got it. Come on.
All righty. Good deal, you guys. Thank you so much. You have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Jack.